Hey everybody, part 2 of my commentary on going from an HTC Rezound to the Verizon Galaxy S3. Part 1, I think I covered the camera, the operating system, home screen replacement, memory, a few other things. I'd like to talk to you about a couple other positives for the Galaxy S3 coming from the HTC Rezound, and a few bugs that I'm hoping will be addressed in software updates in the future. Build quality. When I had the HTC Rezound, I liked how it felt very solid in hand. Had a good heft to it. Some people would say if you hit somebody in the head with it, you could do some serious damage. When I picked up the Galaxy S3, despite the screen being a pretty significant jump, half an inch, it's a lot more real estate, I was really surprised by how light the phone was. Also surprised by how much I loved the thinness of the phone. Took me a while to get it used to holding the Galaxy S3, just with a little added width, and also it being very, very thin. Actually, you're holding it differently in your hand to keep it almost from sliding out, if that makes any sense. Now, even with the lightness, the Galaxy S3 has a quality build. You don't feel like there's a lot of air in there and then things could be rattling around. So even though it's lighter, the build quality still feels very solid. Now, you're either going to like or not like the exclusion of metal accents on the Galaxy S3. That was another thing I was kind of apprehensive towards when I was reading about the S3. I actually like the new finish. I got the dark blue. I'm too old to carry around a white phone. I am way past hip. But it's got a good depth to it. It looks like it's been lacquered with a very fine lacquer over the finish. You've got to look at it very closely, I believe, to have an appreciation for it. Something else I like with it, and just a minor detail, but a really nice touch, the back and menu buttons. When you touch them and they light up, they look like they're floating on top of the color, but underneath the lacquer, if that makes any sense. So it almost looks like they're suspended in the air. And again, it's a very fine detail, but you will appreciate it when you see it. So plus points for the fit and finish for the Galaxy S3, and plus points for the lightness and thinness of the phone. A couple of not so goods. Do a lot of traveling in my job, as you can probably tell from the video, and I can pretty much say with certainty that the radio is not as good as the Rezound. Now, the Rezound had a very, very good radio, but I've noticed that when I get into some of my most remote places, I can have less bars and have more trouble being heard on the phone. Again, I'm hoping that with future software upgrades, maybe that will improve somewhat. But again, that's only in very rural areas, so definitely not a deal breaker for me. Now, a couple of very unusual bugs. One, the speakerphone. The Galaxy S3 speaker in and of itself is very nice. It has good volume and it's very clear. So if you're watching YouTube, a movie or what have you, easy to hear. When you use the speakerphone on the phone, and I've looked at a few at Verizon as well, sometimes it's almost unusual. It almost sounds like a walkie-talkie where people are pushing the button and releasing it, where the person's voice cuts on and off, and my voice going out to the person cuts on and off. There's been a lot of people saying, what did you say? I can't hear you. And that's in good reception areas. Other times the speakerphone works beautifully. Crystal clear, no problems. Here's another unusual thing. When the speakerphone is acting up, if I push the mute button while it's on the speakerphone, immediately the voices clear up, the crackling stops, the intermittency stops, and it becomes very clear. So again, I'm hoping that's some sort of software bug. That's probably the number one thing that bugs me about this phone. I use the speakerphone quite often. The second unusual bug is with playback of the highest quality video. Now the video camera takes 8 megapixel videos, and within the sub-menus on the camera you can choose not just how many megapixels but also the quality of the recording. So if I'm shooting fine or super fine recording with the video camera, when I play it back, it gets very choppy sometimes, most of the time. And it's very strange in that I can record a video, play it back, and the first 2 or 3 times I play it back, it will be smooth as smooth as butter, no problems. But then I get to the 3rd and 4th times, and it'll get to be very choppy. It'll look like it's skipping frames in the video. Now, to get more unusual, I took it back to Verizon. They brought out a couple of more phones for me. Tried it out on those. Same thing happened. You say, oh, that's not that weird. It's a bug. Well, here's another little bit of weirdness about it. When I removed, let me backtrack here. That happened whether I saved it to internal memory or to the SD card. Okay? Now, when I take a video recording on an SD card, remove the SD card and put it into a different phone or into a computer or a tablet and play it back, smooth as butter. So the problem is in the video playback. Let me add one more thing to that though. The problem appears to only be with the 32 gigabyte models of the phones. The 16 gigabyte models of the phone, always, out of the 3 or 4 that I've tried, have had butter smooth playback. So the problem isn't in the video recording, the problem is in the phone video playback and only on the highest quality video. So an irritant, but not a deal breaker, especially since they play back well with other devices. So overall, let me reiterate, I am extremely happy that I have this phone because of the screen, because of the lightness, the thinness, the overall look, the build quality, and I haven't even felt the need to route the phone to do any of the customized ROMs that are popping up everywhere now, like I did with my Galaxy S3. So if you just want a phone where you want to use it out of the box and still have a lot of customization options, great. If you want to get into the guts, you can, if you're very, very, very knowledgeable and aware that your warranty could be voided. If you want to do some customization, that's available as well, though I believe that I'm not even going to look at doing anything like that until after Jelly Bean comes out, which many people are saying will be generally released at the end of August, and hopefully Verizon doesn't lag too far behind in their release. If they do, then I might at that point in time route my phone and jump on one of the what I'm sure will be many fine custom Jelly Bean ROMs that will come out when they finally do the initial official release. So I think that's about all I can think of right now. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. You all have a good day.